out to that tabletop position. Both hands underneath us. Let's move through our sternum drops. Kind of warming up those shoulders. Still drop and press. And lower and press. So I'm in a little bit of like a wider tabletop than what I normally might do. As I start to shift my weight forward, I'm going to think a little bit that my pelvis is going to drop down just a little bit. A little bit of the plank prep, right? Now pull and shift your weight back a little bit. You're moving towards child's pose. Lifting. I'm moving now forward into that modified plank and then lifting through the abdominals and shifting it back. So I'm finding that full range of motion now, both directions. I am trying to keep those shoulders out of my ears. Shifting forward. And then carefully come back to tabletop. Hands come back underneath. And let's actually go ahead. I'm going to walk my way to the front of my mat. Elbows are going to come down. And I'm going to make a fist with one hand and wrap the other hand around that fist. So my elbows now, let's move again back to those sternum drops just a little bit. Those elbows now are gliding, pushing energy down into the mat to float my heart up. Hold, I'm going to look at my thumbs so I'm in line, top of my head to my tailbone. Let's flex that right leg long behind us. And just for a moment, I want you to see what does it feel like if I push into my toes, right? So it's almost like you're standing again. Alternating back and forth. Last one, each way, standing into that leg, and then bend and come all the way back in. I'm going to walk my knees tight together and shift my weight back. And I'm going to take an inhale. And exhale, curl the wheel of your pelvis. Start to press your spine back, then up, then up, then up. All the way back up. Rock your legs to one side. So that right leg is going to come in front, left leg is going to tuck behind. So perfect seated position, just like we kind of do on the reformer. If you want to stay in this position, that's great. Right hand is going to come down, and maybe you start to walk yourself up and over. You can come down onto that elbow if that feels good. So you're sort of, again, lifting through that right waist to stretch open to the left, and then carefully kind of bring yourself back up. Left hand comes down, right arm reaches up and over. Right. So you can stay here if you like, or if you want an added challenge, we're going to come to kneeling on that right leg. Left leg is going to extend long. And for me today, I think I'm going to flex through the foot. If you want, you can always open those arms out. Right hand is going to come down. And we're going to big stretch up and over. Right? So kind of the same movement, but a little bit bigger for us. And then reach. Added challenge, bring the hands behind the head. And again, inhale to lengthen up and over. A little less stability here. Now pull from that left waist. Push your head back into your hands just a little bit. Right? Remember, weight of the head, spread of the rib cage, weight of the pelvis. Last one. Big length. And then pull from your left waist. Do you feel your right glute turn on? Pretty awesome. Right? Whole body is working here. Carefully bring it all the way back up. Hands can come back down along beside you. Now that left leg is going to tuck in front, and the right leg is going to turn. Okay? So we'll do one seated and then progress as it feels comfortable for you. Walking over towards the left, stretching, you're lifting your left waist, and then you're coming back. If you want that added challenge, maybe you come up onto your left knee, right leg lengthens, open those arms out. And again, make that rainbow in your waist, lift, and then up and over, and stretch, and lift. Find that moment of reach, and then pull back. Ooh, can you push your head back into your hands just a little bit? Can you feel that the inhale is expanding the movement, and that exhale reconnects? Now from here, we're going to flip to facing the mat. I am going to start to stand into my right leg. Pivot on that right leg, turning, hands come down. We're going to stand into that right leg again, right? Where have we seen this? Flex into those feet, slide your shoulders back and down, left leg lengthens. right? So in this position alone, you can hold. You can really try to lift through the waist, tuck that tailbone underneath you just a little bit, drop the heels away from you, or we'll add our movement just a little bit. We're going to drop down to our elbows. Where have we seen this? Woo, right? Then we're going to press back up to our hands, nice and tall. And then switch, left side leads and lower, left side leads and lifts. Right side leads and lower and lift. You can always come to kneeling here, guys. Sorry I didn't cue that earlier, right? Lift and lift. We're going to do this once more. Lower, lower, lift, lift. Reconnect with your center. Pull up through those abdominals. Shift your weight back. I'm going to walk my feet towards me just a little bit for a down stretch. You can always come to tabletop still and do this. We're going to lengthen one leg out and then pull it back down underneath us. And then lengthen the other leg out and pull it back down underneath us, right? So you can decide how big stretch you want it. If you're in this down dog position, you're going to get a really nice hamstring and you're going to get a really nice hip flexor stretch. Last one, each reaching. Push energy away through your hands. And last one left. Reaching. And carefully lower that back down. I'm going to give my knees just a little bit of a bend as I help to push myself back towards my feet. Stretch that low back one last time. And then start to lift the stomach off the quads as you straighten and stack your spine all the way back. Whew, relax those shoulders. Back and down. Good work. That's class. Thank you so much, everybody.